Hello and welcome back to Strength and Health for Life, where I ask you one question. Do you like engineering? 'Cause I love engineering. Hello! Welcome back to yet another day of our wellness journey together. Before we begin, we ask that you smash that like button down below, subscribe to this channel, click the notification bell to receive all alerts, and watch the video all the way through. Also, if you have any topics that you'd like to see in this channel, please leave your suggestions in the comment section below. By the way, if your life's not working out the way that you thought it should, and having a few extra $100 come in from working at home would help, then take action now and click the first link in the description to learn how. Now, some of you may remember that I'm actually a trained engineer. I spent 5 years at the university attempting both a mechanical engineering bachelor's degree and a bachelor's degree in theoretical physics. I achieved that mechanical engineering bachelor's degree, but was short on the physics one because of one class. Quantum mechanics. It makes no sense. So, anyway, because of my background, I thought we would take a journey into the world of engineering and technology to see what it has to offer for those of us trying to lose weight. Because many people don't understand that engineers are taught to look at things quite a bit differently from both the average person and even other scientists. So, without further ado, for your viewing pleasure, I thought today we'd go over a new implant that they have for weight loss. It was developed by biomechanical engineers. Now, I imagine there are both pros and cons, so I'll break it down from an engineering point of view, and not only give you the pros that talk about how well it works, but I'll give you the cons as well, coming from the standpoint of an engineer. Because there are some concerns that do arise because of how it functions. Now, these concerns could turn out to be unfounded, but it's important that we analyze it from that standpoint because we want to make sure that it's safe. But first, we'll talk about the chip itself a little bit more. So what's the first question you may have? Where is it? I'm glad you asked. This chip is currently being developed by the University of Wisconsin at Madison, Wisconsin. It's still being tested and is not ready for human trials as of yet. But boy, does it show promise. But we'll get into that a little bit later. For right now, we'll continue talking about what it is and exactly how it's used. The device in question is only 1 millimeter thick and is about as big around as a nickel. It is surgically implanted on top of the stomach, which means you no longer have to remove chunks of your own stomach for it to work. In fact, it doesn't even contain batteries or any kind of programming. But how is it powered? Now, this is kind of interesting. It's powered by your stomach's natural digestive movements. See, when we eat something, our stomach actually moves in a wave pattern as it starts to digest and mix the food with your digestive juices. This implant is powered by those wave movements. See, what the chip does is once it's activated, it sends a signal to your brain to tell you that you're full, essentially accomplishing the same thing that happens when you get bariatric surgery, except it's less invasive and is completely reversible. When it was tested on rats, the rats in the test group lost 38% of their total body weight over 100 days. In fact, it's meant to replace the V-Block, which is an FDA-approved implant that requires a big control panel with batteries, and you have to recharge the batteries. With this plant, all it is layers upon layers of polymers. And those polymers are encased in a biocompatible sheathing. I would most likely think that they coat it in polyethylene terephthalate. This is the same kind of biocompatible polymer that's used to make heart valves. So for me, it would make sense that they would use this as it's already been tested within the human body to coat these new polymers. But what are the pros? Alright, I'll tell you. So here are the pros to this chip if and when it makes it to human trials. Number one, it's less invasive. Compared to other bariatric surgeries, this is much less invasive because all they're doing is going in and attaching an implant to your stomach. I imagine it wouldn't take more than an hour, especially once they get better at doing it. Number two, it's simple to use. Once it's implanted, that's it. You don't have to do anything extra. The implant will work on its own based on your own stomach's movement. Number 3, it seems to work so far. If the results in the rats mimic that which will happen in the human body, then it definitely works. It'll help significantly for emergency weight loss for those that are so morbidly obese that it's having immediate health effects. And number 4, it's easily reversed. If any issues come up, it's easily removed and it immediately stops doing what it's doing. Unlike other surgeries like gastric bypass, which require an entire surgery and many hours to reverse if it's even possible. And even if it is, it makes you wonder if it's completely reversible or not. But there are definitely concerns that come to mind when it comes to this new chip. Most of them have to do with how it works. So here are the cons that I can think of when it comes to this new chip. Number 1, it connects to the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is one of the most important nerves in the body. And when you're attaching something that your body doesn't naturally have attached to it, there's no real telling how it'll affect your nervous system until you try it. Now, this could be proved to be unfounded, but it's important that we pay attention to that when we do human trials. Number 2, what if it works too well? The way that it controls your appetite by telling your brain that you're full means that it could tell you that it's full too often. If that ends up being the case, you could definitely put yourself into a state of perpetual starvation. And that will lead to a myriad of other health issues, including the possibility of slowing down your metabolism, which means you'll end up gaining weight again anyway. Number 3, what are the long-term effects of having extra signals sent along your nervous system to your brain? Will your body continue to make the hormones that determine whether you're hungry or not over the long run? Like, if you use this for years, is your body going to know whether you're hungry or not for real? A more long-term study will be needed to determine whether it actually inhibits the body's ability to determine the difference between hunger and fullness. Because if your body stops making both the hunger and full hormones, then that's considered permanent bodily damage. And number 4, once it is removed, won't you just gain the weight back? We could see the same problem with this chip that we see with all other crash diets or any other fad diets. And that's once you stop, you gain the weight back plus more, which would bring along the same effects that you see with yo-yo dieting. I previously did an entire video on yo-yo dieting, so if you're interested in learning more about that, click the banner right about here to see that video for yourself. Regardless of whether this chip gets FDA approved or not, or whether you choose to try it out or not, there's still one thing you're always going to need for any success, whether it's financial or weight loss or anything else in between. That something is that you'll need someone to talk to help keep you motivated and accountable and to be there for you for emotional support. So if you're looking for a weight loss community to help keep you motivated and accountable, or maybe you just need someone there for you along your weight loss journey, then please follow us on Facebook and join our Facebook group. Those links are at the bottom of the description. With all that said, stay safe, stay healthy, stay hydrated, and I'll see you in the next video.